working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times.
Hello, friends. It's Kate from Kate's Crafting Corner. It is the 28th of December, the third day of Christmas. My true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 calling doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I forgot to do that on the second day of Christmas. Oof, we're all lucky. Actually, we're not, because I don't think I can do the full song. So we will discover together. Anyways, I am here, possibly a little hyper, working with about 4 to 5 hours of sleep. I took like a 2-hour bath this morning. I don't even know what I was doing in there. I had my iPad. I was playing Ebony. It's a game I play. It's... Oh, Sansa, you heard me talking and you came. Here's my shadow. You saved my Velcro dog. I just call her a shadow. I have almost been tempted to call her Shadowfax. Why can't you stay with Daddy? You were with Mommy literally all of yesterday. She won't let me put her down. Anyway. Do I smell nice? Do I smell clean? You smell like farts. She has seriously the worst gas of any dog we've ever had. Her mother might give her a run for her money. Gracie, the Gracie monster, she also has really bad gas. It's not really the boys and our dogs that have the gas. It's the girls. Sansa, Gracie, mainly those two. Okay, anyways, welcome to Kate's Crafting Corner. I have noticed I have gotten a few new subscribers, so welcome. I'm gonna assume that you are coming from Whip Warriors, so thank you. I am really looking forward to going on the Whip Warrior adventures with you all. I've got 2 Whip Warrior planners. The small one will be for yarn related things, which will be talked about on this channel. I've tried to do separate videos and it just doesn't work for me. And then the big one will be for cross stitching. Anyways, so welcome to Kate's Crafting Corner. I need to go through the list in which I include my channel and subscribe to everyone too. I'm really excited because I kind of fell off the watching bandwagon, and the last few months, I've been really enjoying getting to watch people do floss tube again. But most of the people I subscribe to, it's from like I have channels from people who haven't updated in 5-6 years. That makes me really sad. I like those channels, but I also don't really know the new channels that everyone is following. So I have been on the floss tube for a really long time. 8 years? 8 years maybe 9, somewhere in there. 8 or 9 years. And I just, I like to talk about the crafts, even if it's mainly just to myself. I like to talk about the crafts. But always feel free to follow me on Facebook or chat with me on Facebook. I'm not as good about responding on Instagram, but I am on Facebook Messenger. I do have Instagram. I just never really update it. In part because I'm not sure the appropriate number of posts for a day. Like every time I take a picture of my craft, should I post? I don't know. It confuses me. It really confuses me. So I'm on Facebook in a lot of groups doing a lot of things, and yeah. Oh my gosh, I have to plan an event for my Lord of the Rings group. I said I would do the January tasks. You know what that means? It's time to watch the movies again. We are on the second book, Two Towers. And we're just journeying across Middle Earth very slowly. We are 6.5 years into our journey. We've made it through The Hobbit. We made it through the Fellowship. And we are at Two Towers. And we have escalated our pace here in Two Towers. We are skipping a lot that we didn't used to skip. So just fine. But yeah, eventually we will make it through. I also said I would do a year-long challenge for that. So need to get on that. But because I'm in planning mode. Sorry, this is so rambly. Why did I get so little sleep last night? Because I stayed up till 6 a.m. doing planning stuff. I couldn't stop myself. I told my husband somewhere around 3 a.m., oh, I'm coming to bed. I'll be there. I just need to take my medicine. That's literally what I told him. 3 hours later, I made myself stop. So, we're going to talk about planning right now because I am once again having to change plans for this brief little period here at the end of December. I used body butter and it has taken forever for it to sink into my skin. I don't like lotion for the most part, even though my skin gets so dry because I just don't like how it feels. Santa baby. It isn't Santa. It is Sansa, like the character from Game of Thrones. But, I mean, Sansa and Santa are only separated by one letter. So I sing, all my dogs have different little songs I sing to them, and she gets Sansa baby. No, I amuse myself. If you're new here, I am a homebody that has way too many dogs. And, yeah, I'm a librarian at an elementary school. And I get overstimulated at work, and then I don't want to socialize. I actually told one of my old coworkers, she is working at another school now. She's a second grade teacher. She was first grade while she worked at our school. But anyway, she invited me to her New Year's Eve party, and I am making myself go. My husband and I are going to go. He'll go out of the house every single day. I don't understand it. I hate it. And then he tries to tell me he's a homebody. And I'm like, my dude, you seriously come up with a reason to leave the house every single day. You're just going to run up to this store. Oh, it's not a big deal. Just going to run up to the store real quick. No. Okay. I got in my comfy clothes and I am not leaving, which brings us to another thing. I don't dress up for these kind of things. I don't do makeup. If you're looking for that kind of thing, this is not the channel for you. I am in my comfy clothes. Yeah. So today it is a Hogwarts sweatshirt and pajama pants that don't match because I don't know where most of my matching clothes are. Well, probably I need to wash them. So anyway, sorry, long ramble intro. In part because there's an overwhelming amount of planning stuff to talk to you guys about. So let's talk about my changed plans. I am no longer going to do previews for 2026 for the games I'm going to be playing. Instead, what I am going to do tomorrow, Monday, which is my attempted normal filming day, I will be doing a video in addition to my 12 days of Christmas videos. I will be doing a January preview video where I will go over my goals for the month of January, my goals for the first week, because New Year's is partway through the week. I'm just gonna start all the things. I'm gonna plan it as if Monday is the first day of the month, instead of the end of a month, just because there's so many things I want to start for the new year that I just, while I'm on vacation from school, I want to get a head start on it. So speaking of so many things, I have my list. I have my list of projects. Now, I know, you don't have to tell me that this is an unachievable amount of stitches for me. It would probably be achievable for some people. However, I have to increase my energy for it to be achievable for me, and I have to stop doom scrolling. I'm really bad at that. And so I am going to try to be selfish in 2026. Selfish in that I am not going to dedicate my whole self to my job. I love those kids. I love them a lot. They are draining me. I have almost nothing left to give physically. And this 2 weeks, hopefully it'll be enough to last me. We have a month in here where which month? Probably March, where there's not a single day off. And I know that shouldn't be a big deal for most people, but like when you work with children, and our school is TK through 6th grade, it is draining. They're needy. They're very needy. This is a Title I school, and so a lot of the kids come from very broken backgrounds, and I try to pour into them. And I have been reminded by Katrina and Carrie and Kitty that why are all my friends' names start with K? And I'm Kate, so great letter. It is a great letter. That I can't pour from an empty cup, and that's where I've been at. I've cried way too much over this job. So, I'm just going to start being selfish. I'm going to do what's in my contract hours, and that's about it. Well, probably not. Probably not, because that's not my personality, but like, you get what I'm saying. I need to reserve more for myself and my hobbies and the things that bring me joy. So, that brings us to the plans stuff. Okay. First one that I haven't mentioned yet. A lot of things are going to be dice related because maybe 2026 is also the year of random, like dice rolling randomness. I'm playing games that involve dice rolling. I'm making decisions for myself based off of dice rolls, like for crafts, not for my real life. Although maybe I should. Maybe I should assign every room in this house a number and just roll it, and that room gets my attention. But maybe I actually should. Oh. I could roll a D4, which would determine the number of rooms that I would give, like, I don't know, 15 minutes of attention a day. Then roll the dice for each of those rooms. I mean, to determine which rooms. I could do that. Maybe. We'll think about it. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Add more things to the list. Every week, I will roll a... Do you have the time right now? I don't know who you are. Some random number just texted me. Do you have the time right now? What kind of time? Anyways, I will roll a d20, and that will determine the number of charity makes I will make that week. Now, I know you guys are thinking, especially the ones who have been here for a while, Kate, that's crazy. Don't do it. And you're probably right. However, I am committed to making charity makes for my mom's charity thing. The women's shelter. And so what I have determined is I will roll the dice. Right now I rolled a number 17. That is a very big number. So what will I make that week? Probably worry worms and face scrubbies and those things that take me not much time at all. If I were to roll and it's 6, that's a smaller number. So I might make a couple washcloths. I might try to do a couple of, like, maybe some chickens or an octopus or something like that. It doesn't have to be the same item. We're just aiming for that number. If I were to roll a 1, that's a very small number. I might try to do something like a scarf or a cowl. And I might not finish it that week, and that's okay. I'm gonna give myself grace on these things. Um, but that way I can keep, one, decreasing my stash, two, making things for charity is always a good thing to do when you can. And knowing that they're going to a women's shelter, and a lot of these people, it's in a country where I'm not allowed to say what country because of reasons, privacy reasons, but where most of these women are coming from being sex slave traded and have escaped from that. So they're going for a good cause. And there's children there, so some toys, there's women there, there's constantly influx of new people, people leaving, things like that. So I want to make sure I have enough so that they have a little stockpile, so that maybe a new mother comes in with a young child, and there's a little chicken for the child, or a little octopus, or a hair scrunchie for the woman's hair, things like that, that they're able to give them. And so, in my selfishness for the rest of the stuff, I don't want to neglect doing things like that, because I think it's important, and that is something that does bring me joy. So each week we will roll this. I'm not doing it for tomorrow yet. Why is my camera so hazy right now? Probably need to wipe it down. And then the sun probably isn't helping. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I could make it a little better. Okay, sorry. I think it's just the way the sunlight's coming in right now. Anyways, okay, so that's the first thing. I worked for hours with my cross stitch project spreadsheet, which I know is actually missing projects, but I'm just going to ignore that fact. I'm going to try to share a link for it so that you guys can see. And if it's something that you think would work for you, you can clear everything out and make it for yourself. But basically, um, I mainly stick to the whips tab. I also have a tab for finishes, knit and crochet whips, which I never update, knit and crochet finishes. I have a buying starts tab, which, to be honest, I don't know the last time I bought starts, but this year I'm buying starts for knitting and crochet with bingo rows and completions. And then I have a temporary UFO tab where I need to keep adding things, because these are projects that I haven't necessarily decided for sure that I am UFOing. Some of them might come back. Some of them I might just be restarting. Um, I put a lot of hates in here. So some of them might, as I'm now more in a full coverage mood lately, they might make their way back to the main spreadsheet. We'll see. I probably should move Santa's Village over there since I can't find my patterns, and that's very annoying. What did I do with them? I don't know. I haven't found them in years. I should just buy them again. But it's the first project I ever started on linen, and I was in a subscription club for it as they were coming out. So that's how long ago I started it. And I probably would restart it anyways, because I hate the fabric. Um, yeah, I hate the fabric. I hate working on that. Yeah. Anyways, probably should move it, but well, whatever. I'm getting distracted. Sorry, you guys. Anyways, so I will share this Google Sheets. On it I have lines. So I've got the project, then I've got stitching categories, and a lot of these are the games that I'm playing, so I have them assigned to stitching categories so that I can quickly see, scanning through it, what projects aren't actually even in a category. Which is part of what helped me determine, like, what was gonna go on my Monopoly board when I was doing that last night. I have the number of stitches in the project. Some of this is guessing, where if it's not full coverage, I just took the width by the height and multiplied it together. The number of stitches I've stitched, I do count stitches, kind of somewhat neurotic about it. Um, um, my degree, my college degree is in accounting, and I love numbers and I love counting. And so it just comes really natural to me to like just count and add it together and just do that. Then I have two columns that, sorry about that, you guys. One of the problems with doing vlogging is you obtain a lot of video clips, and I just had to delete over 300 video clips. So I had run out of storage, and the phone stopped the recording. So anyways, we were talking about my spreadsheet. So I also have it keeps track of the pages or the parts, and then how many I've stitched, the percentage left, the year or date I started it, because some of them are just guesses, and the date last worked on. And then I have a column where I can put an X and it will change the color of it to, if I've worked on it this year. So last year I had it for 2025. I cleared that all out and changed the date to 2026. And I'm basically counting now as 2026 because yeah, it's basically 2026. So yeah, is it a little cheat? Yes, it is. But I'm hoping that anything I work on now, I would work on later anyways. Santa baby. Oh, Santa baby. She is like on her back with her belly, just like that. Anyways, so yeah, I was spending a lot of time on this spreadsheet. Um, Moving to the next spreadsheet. I have a lot of spreadsheets going. I filled out all 3 WIPGO boards that I'm doing, reading, uh, uh, knitting or crochet, and cross stitch. So I do know what 3 pieces have been called for January. I will reveal that in tomorrow's video. So I I have the things filled out. I'm going through the various tabs I have open because I worked in quite a few of them yesterday. What are you? Oh, okay. I will try to remember to share a link for this lady who makes these digital diaries to keep track of reading if you're interested in that at all. She offers the spreadsheet completely free. It's a link that's in her her YouTube video. So I will share the link to her YouTube video. You can choose between a purple or a green spreadsheet. But so I was spending a little bit of time on that. However, I need to watch her video again as a lot of the information is I need to remember how to use it properly and not mess things up. So that's about what I have in terms of spreadsheets to share. I do use a planner, a cross stitch planner from Rainbow Sheet Studio. I will try to remember to include the link to that Etsy shop. I have mentioned it was a little bit pricey, but you buy it one time and then you have to use a new spreadsheet each year, but it's well worth it in my opinion. And there's a lot of information it tracks. So it's also got a project tracker that, and then it's got sections for every single month with like graphics on it. It also has like it's hard to explain. I will include a link to her video where she shows a lot of what's included. But basically each day you put in the number of stitches you did for each project, and it tabulates that. It's got a calendar that you select what month you want to look at. So for me, I'll look at November because I haven't done anything for December at all. And it will tell me, like, on the 3rd, I worked on 3 different projects, and this is how many stitches I worked on in each project. It tells me when I started a project. So on the 4th of November, I started a project. It tells you if you finished a project. I haven't finished a project, so that information won't be in my spreadsheet. But so it's got that. It's got a timeline tab that shows it shows if you worked on a project in like a week. You can change the intervals. You can change it to 30 days or 7 days, or I guess 1 day. I don't know. And it tells you basically in like pixels, maybe, if you've worked on the project in that time frame. And it all like auto calculates itself, which is awesome. It's got a yearly summary. My year summary is not good. But I only started working on this in August. But anyways, it's still not good. Anyway, I've talked about this before. It is definitely worth it, in my opinion. So I will try to remember to include both a link to the spreadsheet and also, not the spreadsheet, a link to the video, but also the Etsy shop. Because she has a lot of, well, not a lot. She has a decent number of some good spreadsheets. I wish that she would include a link to her shop on the spreadsheet itself. That would be really cool. It's called Rainbow Sheets Studio. So, anyway. Definitely worth it in my opinion. Hang on, I just clicked the video. I'm gonna pause it so that it doesn't talk. But anyways, yeah. Okay. Because I want to look at it.
Welcome to the
No,
cross-stitch panel
I said
tutorial.
don't talk.
In this video,
Sorry, you guys. We're all over the place today. This is going to be a long video. In part because I'm procrastinating the amount of editing I need to do. Anyway, we talked yesterday about Great British Bake Off, so I don't need to share that with you guys. We talked about soccer. Okay, so I did fill out both of the new Monopoly boards, and I did actually make rules and write them down this time for the yarn one. So this was the previous one. This is the new one. And so basically my rules for my yarn, these are basically all advent calendars. I think the only exception is I have the Stephen West knit-alongs on here under community chests and the railroads. So my rules, I will roll 1 time a week, and that will be my goal for that week to accomplish. Buying a property equals using 2 mini skeins. So because they're advent projects, they're almost all like 24 mini skeins. So buying the property is 2 mini skeins. If I land on something I've already bought, that's a rent of 1 mini skein completed. The railroads and utilities, I will, because those are all Stephen West, I will roll a D20, and that will determine the number of hours I work on that for that week. Just because Stephen West are hard to like split up in terms of parts and stuff like that. I don't want to commit to one part in a week because it's a crazy amount of knitting. Jail. If I'm just visiting, my project for that is my row 1 minis. If I'm just visiting, I will roll a D6, and that will be the number of minis that go into my crochet jelly roll, which is the project for my row 1 minis. These are 10-gram minis, so significantly smaller, and I believe they're held double, so even faster. If I got sent to jail, I need to do the number of minis that equal the number of times I had to roll before I got doubles. So that is jail. If I roll on a chance one, okay, that's what I did for the chances. The chance ones are my advents from this year. I will roll a d4 to determine the number of minis. That seems really excessive, but I guess it's a chance. So I guess that's why I did that. Free parking, if I land on free parking, that means I get a week off the game. No knitting required. And the community chess is the whip of choice that fits in that category. So I have Easter Advent, which I only have one and it's not started. Christmas in July Advent, again, I only have one right now, but like, I mean, that's a 31 day, so it's a lot. And then Halloween Advents, I have 3, and none of them are finished, so they're all in various stages. I have one that's actually really close. So again, whip of choice that fits that category, and do I do just one or do I roll the d4? I'll just do one. Or maybe I'll flip a coin, heads 1, tails 2 for minis. So that is the yarn advents for Monopoly. 1 roll a week. I have my cross stitch Monopoly, in which I actually changed the vast majority of projects that are on that. Here was the previous one, where it was a lot more open-ended about, I would do like designers. I was a lot more specific in this current one. So, I do have a couple that's like pedal pusher, and that's because those are all but one of my pedal pusher designs are small. So otherwise I have like Lantern Lane, ABCs of Cross Stitch, Afternoon in Paris, Castle in the Air. For the most part, I do have a few Clouds Factory non-sals. So I have some Clouds Factories that are not part of sals, because most of the sals ended up in my Millstone Manor game. So my rules for Monopoly, because I did change a few from previously. Buying a property equals 500 stitches. Rent equals 200 stitches. So if I land on a property I've already bought, that's 200 stitches. When I own the whole set, that's ×2 for the rent. I'm able to buy houses. That is 1,000 stitches on the project, and then rent will go up. So for the first house, it's 500 stitches. The second house owned is 600 for rent. The third house is 700, and the fourth house is 800. You have to own the whole set before you can buy houses, and I'm not going to say I have to be landed on the square to buy a house for it. If, for example, I own the 2 properties right by Go, Pedal Pusher and Castle in the Air, and I'm just feeling like I have some extra time and I want to work on my Pedal Pusher project, so I just decide I'm going to buy a house. If I own the whole set, it doesn't matter if I've landed on it that week. I can go ahead, do 1,000 stitches for that project and buy a house. I don't know how often, if I'll ever do that, but I wanted to include all eventualities. You are able to buy hotels once you have 4 houses, and hotels cost 2,000 stitches, and the rent is 1,000 when you land on it. chance spaces. I don't have projects assigned to them. So what I am going to do is I roll a d20 and I multiply that by 100, and I can work on any project that I want. It is whip of my choice. And this might be where I try to hit some of the whips that didn't make it onto any of my games. Or just whatever is calling to me at that moment. Jail, I assigned Christmas Quaker 2 Songs of the Season. And if I'm just visiting, then it is 200 stitches. And that's it. If I was sent to jail, the go to jail guy, it is 200 times the number of rolls it took to get doubles on Christmas Quaker 2. Free parking, this is where I can get a new start. So I will roll a d20, multiply that by 100, and that's the number of stitches on the new starter choice. Community chess, I did assign projects. No, I assigned categories. Each one has a different category. So I have patriotic projects. I have full coverage projects for the full coverages that didn't make it into any of my games. And then blank non-full coverage. So that's any whip that is blank in my spreadsheet under category. I will do 500 stitches on a whip in that category. Electric and water, I assigned my 2 patriotic Quakers from Vivster on Etsy. So I have the South African flag and I have the UK flag. That's a gift for my nephew. So if I own one, and again, to buy a property is 500, rent would be 500 for just one owned. If I own both of them, it's 1,000 stitches that's owed in rent. Railroads, and I assigned 4 projects from Northern Needlework Expressions, Esther's Waves. I have 2 different twisted band samplers. One is on black fabric and one is with DMC threads. And then I have a twisted rainbow as well. So 4 projects. So again, buying it's 500. Rent is 300 for just owning one. If I own 2, that's 500. 3 is 700, and 1,000 for when I own all 4. A project must be completed before I replace that project on the board. And I'm still trying to decide if that just resets everything to 0 for that square, or if I just slot it in. And I'm going to try to keep them in the same kind of categories. So, for example, if I finish ABC of cross stitch, I would try to fit in a different sampler type of project, or afternoon in Paris. That's a better example because it's closer to being done. I also have afternoon in New York, and I have afternoon in Rome, I believe is the 4th one. Neither of which are started, but I would slot that into there. And once that's done, I might do another country cottage needlework that I have started, but maybe not in a challenge. So those are my 2 monopolies and my rules for Monopoly. I still need to assign projects to rooms for Millstone Manor, so I didn't really do that. I just assigned a bunch of whips, probably like not quite 30 on my spreadsheet. So I need to determine if any of them need to be removed, and that sort of thing. I need to look to see how many rooms I will actually have in my Longbourn house. Temperature stitching, something I had completely forgotten about until yesterday. And so, I was looking at my projected weather. And I think what I'm going to do is I will take Monday to Monday. So I'll look on Sunday and I will look from that Monday to the next Monday. So that is 8 numbers, and that will equal about 800 stitches. I will do 100 stitches for the project assigned on the last. Oh, she's she's so asleep. Such a clingy but good little girl. She looks so sweet. Anyways, hi Alice. Anyway, yeah. So that's my plan with temperature stitching. I will take the projected temperatures from Sunday. Like, I'll look on Sunday and determine what those stitching will be. Soccer, I am behind on my stitching for that, and I think what I'm gonna do is just we are about to get to the point in the season where they're playing their second match against the same teams. So I will just try to make up those previous matches that same week as the game. So that's basically how that is gonna work. Great British Bake Off. Is one of my rewards today. I will be watching the first episode, and that will determine the projects that I will be working on next week. And you will see that in Monday's video. You probably won't even see this video till Monday, so whatever. But that is my plan for that. And I think the first episode is a double elimination, so there might be extra stitching, which is why I'm okay with starting this now and giving myself some extra time. We talked about the book challenge yesterday. I did end up changing the projects. Yeah. And basically, yeah, we talked about the last few things. I have 3 whiteboards, and this I'm totally stealing from Jen the Caffeinated Stitcher. I have 3 whiteboards that I am going to be using to track various things. These count as 2. Okay, so I am thinking on one side, I'm going to put monthly goals because there are some things that are determined monthly, like WIPGO. That's a monthly thing. I will put weekly things on the other side. And then I owe so much to soccer. I think soccer is going to get this whole board because I owe a lot. So that is what I am looking at right now. I am considering buying a couple more whiteboards so that when I have special events like the Olympics that will be coming up and the World Cup, and I will be able to use a dedicated whiteboard to that and not have to worry about like stealing from my other whiteboards or whatever. I don't know. That's just something I'm thinking about. Now, I mentioned having a WIPGO board for reading where I have different genres and then 5 of the spaces just say physical book. In part because I read not as many physical books and I'm trying to encourage myself to read more, but I decided that trying to get myself to read 25 physical books was maybe asking a bit much. Sansa, you're eating my hair? Good grief, girlfriend. Anyway, I had forgotten until I was going through my backpack yesterday that I have a reading challenge. It's called it's a Harry Potter based situation from Flourish and Blots. It's a Facebook group. I will try to include a link to the group, but this year they're doing a sorting challenge. So there are 12 prompts related to each of the houses. And then there are 2 bonus prompts to make it an even 50. Bonus number 1 is read a book that references Harry Potter, and number 2 is read a book that represents your chosen house. For me, that's Slytherin. So, I would need to read a house that somehow represents Slytherin, but also doesn't clash with like the Slytherin house challenges. Anyways, I'm going to try to complete this entire thing. So each month I need to do at least 4 prompts. I am hoping that my WhipGo prompts will take care of 2 of those. The last week of the month, if I haven't completed 4 prompts, because I'll read 2 that will go with the WhipGo prompts, and then just my normal reading. And if at the end of a month I haven't read 4 prompts for that month, I am going to try to pick 2 random ones and complete that. Some of the prompts are like read a book with a red cover, a yellow cover, a green cover, a blue cover. Include an eagle or an eagle-like character. So an eagle-like character, in my opinion, is like a mystery book, like a detective or a sleuth or a cozy mystery, one of those old ladies who's trying to solve the mystery. That's an eagle-like character, in my opinion. The dungeons has a door. The dungeons. So read a book that has a door on the cover. A character that is ambitious, has jewelry on the cover. A character that shares a name with a Gryffindor. So another Harry, or, like that. An author with an H in the initials. Those are just some of the prompts. And they are meant to be, it says be creative in your interpretation of the prompts. There are no official rules. So I just thought it would be fun to try to complete this. And I've always loved reading challenges, and I've kind of fallen off of them just because I was signed up for so many that it would take me hours to update for each book that I read, like literal hours. I could finish a book while updating a book because I would listen to an audio while updating it. So I do need to go through. I do have a Google document that is reading challenges. I need to go through that, take some of them off, and then try to get into it again. Just because I've discovered so many things, so many books I did not know I liked before, that because of reading challenges making me stretch my reading, I discovered. Like, I didn't know really that I liked fantasy. I mean, despite liking Harry Potter, I didn't know I liked like epic fantasies until I participated in a reading challenge about 15 years ago. So, yeah, I discovered authors that I've come to really like through reading challenges, and just various things like that. Look at her. She's so precious. So clingy. So yeah, my goal that I am putting on Goodreads is 156 books. That is 3 books per week. I'm at 99 right now. I need to finish that one last book. I have a lot of books started. So I need to just finish one so I can cross 100. But I really want to up the ante next year. Listen to books while crafting. So that is about all I wanted to share with you guys right now. This was really ridiculously long. I will come back later and do Advent. Well, actually, let's talk about what I need to do. I have 2 videos that need editing today. So my plan is to work on worry worms while editing. And then while the video uploads, I am going to wind the minis So 1 mini for each video that uploads for day 2 of the advent calendar. For every 5 color increments I get for the worry worms, I am going to be allowed to do one of the squares. I am a little bit worried about a carpal tunnel flare up because it's a lot of crocheting. But to determine the number of colors that I will do, I have a D4. So I have completed 4. The number I'm going to try to reach to before I get my first, like, I can do a square is actually 10. Because I did do 2 squares yesterday. So, and I really need to get a work on these worry worms. So I'm going to take the D4, roll it, and we will see what our first goal is. I did have an idea for, I had some kind of idea for a reward for when I complete the roll. I don't remember. I'll think about it and share it later. 3. So I need to go pick 3 colors. That is a total of 9 worry worms because I'm doing 3 for each color. And yeah, I'll share that with you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Sorry these videos are so long right now. Bye you guys. Hey friends, it is pretty late at night and like 1:30 and I really need to go to bed. It's not a very successful day, to tell you the truth. I got a lot of editing done, and that took a long time, and it took more concentration than I thought that it would, especially putting in all those cover pictures, because I had to download them and Google them and all that kind of thing. But these were the 3 colors I chose for the 3 worry worms. I still need to put on their eyes, but that shouldn't take very long, and I will do that. Uh-oh, did I just drop one? I'm missing one. Not good, not good at all. Ah, didn't come up with us. So here they are. I like to choose themes, like color themes, when I am doing like a set. So I rolled a 3, and so I went with pinks and reds. So I find it fun. Anyway, I am so far behind on that. I need to do so much, but I just do not have the energy right now to do any more. My husband is going to be waking up in about 4.5 hours. He has physical therapy this morning. He has been having really bad back, hip, and leg pain. So he has a lot of physical therapy scheduled. Where is my D4? I was going to roll this D4 for you guys. Oh, there it is. Its triangular shape makes it so easy to hide because, like, the little tip, like, things will pile up and then it will just be this little tip. Anyway, we'll roll that to determine how many my next batch will be. I'll pick those colors in the morning. I'm so sorry. Oof, I'm tired. So I might need a form of bribery for myself. And what I've been thinking is that I will allow myself to play as many Stardew days as I complete colors. So I just completed 3 colors, so I should be able to play 3 Stardew days. We will see if that form of bribery will work. Tomorrow is going to be busy because I not only need to edit today's video, but I need to film my preview for the month of January video just so I can start the routine of being Mondays for filming and editing. So I need to do that. I need to finish doing the plan stuff. Like, I screenshotted the temperature prediction, like predictor, excuse me, and I reviewed my WIPGO board again, which was really good because I had a blank square on there, and so that needed to be fixed. And then I realized one of the squares on there was one that was on my Monopoly board, and I just hadn't marked it properly on my spreadsheet, so I had to change that one out, which I thought that I had forgotten about the Twisted Christmas sampler from Northern Needlework Expression. Turned out I hadn't. I just am not convinced it's on my spreadsheet. So I need to add that. But I was able to add 2 full coverage. Sorry, excuse me, 2 full coverage Christmas pieces onto the WIPGO board. So I think it's finalized. If I encounter any problems along the way, I will just change things, and it's fine. It is fine. So I need to do the first rules for all of the challenges, the Monopoly, both of them, the Manor one, milestone. I don't even know why it's so hard for me to keep the name of that in my head. I should really just call it Longbourn. I need to finish setting up that one. But I don't think choosing the milestones or whatever is as important for the first roll. And yeah, I just need to do a bunch of little things like that to get ready to then film the video, and I need to put away stuff. I don't know. There's a lot. And with all that, I still need to make worry worms. So let's roll this D4, see how many will be my first batch for tomorrow. And I may or may not have to stop making the extras for stash. We're not at our do or die yet. That will be Tuesday. But we're getting close. So let's see. A 1. Fantastic. Fantastic. What do I do with a 1? Not much. Not much at all. But that should get me through editing 1 video. So. And then I'll get to play 1 day of Stardew Valley. So. Cool. And that will put me at 8 for the 2 orders, which is 1/3 through one of them and not quite 1/4 through the other one, but it is what it is. If I'm completely desperate, I will just take the extras that I've been making and put them into that larger order, and they'll have a few duplicates, but since it is a mystery like grouping, it is what it is. I do like to do all different colors, but that's not what my listing says, so technically I could do that. We will see. Let's open. The real reason why I didn't just end it and I'm back here is let's open day 3. I did not get to crochet the squares at all. That will be part of a bribery plan that comes into play later. My ultimate bribery for finishing these orders is I will get to start my full coverage piece, the Heaven and Earth Designs one. That is what I'm using for bribery. So even if it's not the first, I get to start it. Sorry. Okay, so this was last year's number 3, and it's called Burglar. And it's nice blue. So let's see what this year's day number 3 is. Oh my gosh, it's like the 2 days are flopped. So this was day number 2 from last year's Advent, a brown. And I opened yesterday, for day number 2 was blue. Today, day number 3 for last year's was blue. And today's is brown, and it's called Bjorn. So that's really kind of weird. It's a really kind of weird. And maybe I'll just flip the 2, since I do have the first days on the other one as both being green. Maybe I'll just flop the 2. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's my blanket. We'll see. We will see. Now that I'm truly behind, there's no pressure to stay caught up, although this is not on one of my boards, so hang on, let me add the number 3 on here before I forget. So you may have noticed the shadow monster is not with me. That is because I would put her with my husband. She'd leave him and come find me. So I put her with my husband and I closed the bedroom door, and she is kind of locked in there with my husband. So she's not alone. But it gave me some much needed space. Yeah. And so I was able to finish crocheting these, because at that point I'd only done 4 and I needed to do 5 more. So yeah, I got some space. What I'll do while he's at work tomorrow, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I will kick them all out of here and close the door, but I feel like they're gonna cry at the door. That's happened when I've tried that before. But anyway, tomorrow I will probably start the day with doing that one color and watching the Great British Bake Off, because I did not watch that first episode so that I could do my planning for the video I'll film. So I'll probably watch that. Then I'll complete, no, I'll watch that, send over the videos of today's Vlogmas day 3, and while editing that, I will work on setting up the preview for, or setting up everything I need for the preview for the January preview video. And then I will be able to film that, edit that, get it uploaded, and work on worms. And hopefully get things done. But I will talk to you. Another thing is my Home Chef delivery should be arriving tomorrow. So I will need to put that away. But because of Christmas, I did not actually make any of last week's meals. So I need to cook probably about 2 or 3 meals tomorrow. 2 of them I will be using as lunch meal preps. I haven't decided which ones yet. And then one will be dinner. Or I'll just I still have pot roast. So actually that might be dinner tomorrow. But except for I'm sending my husband pot roast for work. So maybe not. I don't know. So I also have a lot of planned cooking for tomorrow, but I can edit videos while cooking. So actually that might be what I do. Just trying to formulate all the plans in my head. Tomorrow's going to be busy, is basically what I'm saying. I will chat with you all later. Hope that you are having a fantastic end of the year. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's almost 2026. That's insane. But yeah. I was also finding and entering more reading challenges, so I'm not sane is all I can say to that. I'm not all sane. But I can't stop. I won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay, anyways. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh my gosh, I forgot one more thing. I was on Facebook and they put up, they Fox and Rabbit, which is actually the new name of Linen and Threads and has been for a number of years, put up the information on this year's free sampler stitch along. And so naturally I'm gonna have to join, right? It is what it is. And I'm actually thinking that this might be my entryway piece in Milestone Manor, as my whip. So I will start with my whip, my husband's, 3 sisters, and my parents. That's 6. Um, I've also decided my parents are going into a room. They are not going to be a stairway for the main reason of, um, I need to work on theirs on the stand, and I'm not always able to access the stand, and I need to be able to control that a little bit more for setting it up. Because I've already started the beading on theirs, like I'm beading as I go. I can't work on it in a hoop or a Q-snap with the beads on the project. So I need to put it on the frame. And so because of that, it needs to not be in the entryway or the hallway. It needs to be in one of the bedrooms that I have to or bedrooms or like kitchen or whatever that I have to purposefully access. So there is that. But the mystery sampler is going to be a band sampler, which I'm really excited about. And they are basing it off of a band sampler that came. So they're going to be releasing 2 versions. One will be for 3 colors, and in the original, it was brown, ecru, and blue, I believe, were the 3 floss colors that were used on the original, based off of a sampler from like the 1700s or something like that, a band sampler. They're only using a few of the bands from that band sampler, but anyways, he's also I hear crying from the bedroom and I'm willing to bet it's Sansa. Anyways, he will be releasing a version for that or a monochrome version. And as soon as I read monochrome, I was like, that fabric that I just got for the monthly fabric. And so I'm going to be doing, and the size for it fits this perfectly, like so perfectly. So I will be using this fabric right now. I'm going to put that here and oh, it matches my thing. I am debating between Blanc, DMC Blanc, because I have a cone of that. I also have enough of 762, which is a very pale, like blue-gray, or a crew. I'm not positive I have enough ecru, but that's not hard enough to get a hold of. And at this moment, I'm actually leaning towards the ecru. But I would love your guys' opinions, or if you have another idea for a color that you think would be perfect on this fabric, let me know. I will be starting and participating in that. I do like band samplers, and so I was really excited to hear about that. These are threads that I got when Joann's was going out of business. So that's why I have like 10 of these. And I think that for this size fabric, 2/2, the little write-up said it would be 8 skeins, which seems really small for, the other thing I could do, I don't think I'd have enough though. I could look through some of my silks that I've acquired, but I don't actually think I have enough, so maybe I won't do that. Anyway, I'm gonna go now for reals. I wanted to share that with you guys, especially if you were wanting to join. And as a reminder, there's only like a couple more days to download this year's free stitch along. So if you're interested in that. I haven't started it, but I did download it. If you're interested in that, go to their website and download it. So, okay, that's all for reals now, and I am going to go to bed. Bye, you guys.